Peace of blessings, peace of blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. Today is January 9th, Thursday, January 9th, 2025. And I just wanted to come chop it up about the latest events that's been going on in the country. Voices for the Voiceless. We wish everybody a good evening and the weekend right around the corner tomorrow, Friday. We wish everybody well on a happy Friday tomorrow and a great weekend. And if you're in the Midwest, if you're middle of the country and going east, definitely want to say stay warm. It's cold in places that is normally not even cold. They having a lot of cold weather in the south. Um, we kind of used to it up here in the Midwest and the East Coast. So my prayers is that everybody be safe. Reduce your speeds if you do have to travel. I notice a lot of times people that are not used to driving and traveling in cold weather, they don't really know you got to really reduce your speed. If the speed limit is 50, you should probably do about 35, depending on the traffic. But yeah, reduce your speed, bundle up. If you don't do nothing, keep something covering your head, some your ears in particular. Keep a skull cap on. Like I go outside with a hoodie on if I got to run out right quick without a coat. But you definitely want to keep something over your head and on your ears. That's the quickest way to catch a cold, to get sick. So make sure those ears are covered up. But yeah, man, as the title says, wildfires in California, my initial thoughts. First and foremost, on the other side of the country, it's cold on this side, but on the other side of the country, I want to say my prayers to the families that have been their homes and their vehicle and everything have been decimated by the wildfires. So that has been going on. We've been seeing all over social media and the news. And my heart goes out to the families that have been affected, that have lost everything or lost anything in those fires. The images that we see are so devastating. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families. And if you're in California, if you're near there, be safe. And, we're definitely keeping you in our prayers. So it's just terrible. But I mean, just looking at this situation, the negligence from the government is just something that people need to pay attention to. Because this did not have to be. I mean, like, we know California wildfires and things of that nature happens in that part of the country. Not so much this time of year, which is odd. The timing of this is odd, for one. But we know that that region does have wildfires. Um, a lot of them, you know. But what's insane is seeing the images and seeing how bad it had gotten, and it didn't have to get that bad. The Governor Newsom out there, and the mayor, they didn't even make sure that the fire hydrants had water. Um, That's one of the main issues. Like, how do you govern, or you in office, knowing that you're governing over a region that has wildfires? Just that's just part of your that's just part of the geographical makeup of your land that you're governing, and you don't make sure that you have an overflow of water just in case. That's just negligence to epic proportions. There's no reason that this should have gotten out of hand and you guys were not prepared. And the thing that I'm saying about that is, um, you guys are right by the ocean. Even if you know, don't have, you know, air jets or airplanes to come and bring the water in by plane, you guys should have some type of system set in place where you have a limitless amount of water just in case, because that is the makeup of your geographical location. Wildfires have always been a thing in California. So to see that people, the amount of people that have lost their house, their homes, their cars, their everything, due to the fact that a portion of that is that you didn't have the correct surplus of water on deck, is inexplainable. And everybody in California should be outraged by that. It should have never got out of hand. And the governor, of course, you know, Governor Gavin Newsom is in direct opposition with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has been saying for years, you could go back to his first campaign, this is going to happen if you don't get this under control with your water supply. And just out of sheer arrogance, I don't know if it was just, oh, I'm just going to be in opposition to Donald Trump that he didn't listen, or is this by design that you wanted this to happen? Because when we look at this situation, it's a no-brainer. And then another issue is that, you didn't want to listen to Donald Trump or anybody else that told you, listen, this is going to be the fate of your state if you do not get this under control. And for something like this to happen, it's a catastrophe, and you not be prepared for it as a governor of your state. That's on you, Gavin Newsom. Now I got my feelings. I look at Gavin Newsom, and to me, he looks just like Lucifer himself. I don't trust him. I look at him, and that's just me being real. I look at him, and the man looks like Satan himself to me. I'm being honest. Just looking in his face, that's my opinion. So to see the state go up in flames, a lot of that is, negligence. And then another issue is this. They did not have enough firefighters, because when COVID-19 hit, they they laid off a lot of firefighters because they declined to take the COVID-19 shot. They didn't want to take the shot. So they just laid off all these firefighters. What sense does that make? Knowing that you're going to be short the manpower that you need just in case something like this happens. You And this was the Democrats. And you know, I just got to be real with y'all. The Democrats mandated that shot. That wasn't the Republicans, man. That was something they did. If you don't take the shot, you lose your job. So a lot of those firefighters that could have been out there helping out, they were laid off. So you messed up on that end. You messed up with not listening to Trump for the water supply. And then we look at the results on how it turned out. Now, Trump came out. They asked him about it. Like, what do you have to say? You said you've been trying to warn Gavin Newsom, the mayor in California, about how to prepare for this type of catastrophe, potential catastrophe that could happen. And now we're here. And Trump, rightfully so, called him out. Man, I've been telling this dude for years, if you don't do A, B, and C, this will be the result. And I do not understand why he would not do that, because it's common sense. It's almost like they wanted this to happen. And I'm going to tell you why they would want this to happen. If all of this land is decimated all around Hollywood and stuff like that, they could come in, buy the land for dirt cheap, and flip the money 10 times. It's all about money, land, and power. Why they would want something like this to happen at the American citizens in California's expense, at their detriment. Now, when Trump came out and spoke and said, man, basically, I told this dude, he said, man, even though they didn't work with me. When I get in office, I'm gonna come in. We gonna fix California. We gonna, they gotta work with me. But even if they don't, I'm stepping in. Those are American citizens, and I'm the president, and I'm gonna do what I can do to help them. But I told Gavin Newsom this. So shout out to Trump for standing on his square and saying what he said. Gavin Newsom doing an interview like, oh man, this dude Trump trying to politicize it. No, 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 no. Ain't no politicized nothing. That all he did was speak the truth, and everybody saw it. And the citizens are totally outraged. You would never get voted back in, bro. If Gavin Newsom get back in office, it's a catch to it. Because everybody should be outraged at his mishandling, knowing that this is a potential disaster zone. And for you to not be prepared, for you to not have a plan in motion. Okay, say you didn't want to do what Trump was talking about for whatever reason, you still should have had a plan in motion, because this is the type of stuff that happens in your region. For you to just be totally ill prepared, they went and talked to the mayor. I forgot her name. The mayor of Los Angeles or whatever is in California. She was on vacation at the time in Ghana. They asking her what's going on. She's sitting there just looking like a kid that got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, not saying a word, not saying nothing. Like, do you feel anything about what's going on back home? She just standing there, not even looking at the man. Then get back to California. Now she got at a press conference, she got too much to say. I mean, these are your Democratic leaders that you keep voting for, that go against the grain, do whatever they want to do, just to bite their nose to spite their face at the American people's expense, and we see a tragedy that did not have to be as bad. Nowhere near. I mean, when you look at these images, it looks like hell on earth. It just is palm trees on fire. I mean, winds just blowing fire all over the place. It's just terrible, devastating. Houses just burnt. The whole tens of thousands of people are homeless due to this catastrophe. And the only thing I can say is it didn't have to be that. If you were more prepared, if you had the manpower, if you had the water supply on deck, knowing that this is bound to happen eventually. So, they tried to come at Trump when he said what he said. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro. You didn't listen. And now you have to bear the brunt of the responsibility of the ball that you dropped. And I don't know how you gonna do that. But what this reminds me of? Y'all remember when those hurricanes hit on the other side of the country in the Carolinas. Gavin Newsom said that they have exhausted all of their resources. And it's something going on with the funding. Well, remember with the hurricane victims, FEMA didn't have any money to help the people rebuild. It's something going on in California where they talking about they don't have the insurance to help the people rebuild because the policies that were implemented not too long ago, the insurance companies started backing out. That's another thing that makes you wonder, was this orchestrated? I don't trust these people. I don't trust them at all. So a few months ago, State Farm and the other insurance companies started pulling back because the funding for fire disaster in California started to decrease by millions. Why would you do that a few months ago? And then all of a sudden, there's no insurance here for these people to cover their losses. Coincidence? I don't think so. That's just my opinion, and it just seems like it's painfully obvious that this was orchestrated. Painfully obvious. I will go out on a limb, people call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever. I will go on a limb to say that these people know how to control the weather and know how to, get around all type of things. It's all type of conspiracies out there. But back to the people that had the disaster with the hurricanes. FEMA didn't have anything for those people. You pay taxes all your life for situations like that. So when natural disasters happen, FEMA helped the citizens recover. But FEMA gave all the money to overseas. The government sent trillions of dollars to Ukraine. To this day, stealing taxpayer dollars overseas. So now you see another situation where the American people come last under the Democratic regime and rulership. I'm just saying, local government is way more important than the presidential government, they say. This is something that you need to take note of, because if your governors, your mayors are not making sure that their citizens are covered, their taxpaying citizens are covered by their own tax dollars, why would you continue to vote or not vote? I would be trying to get them clean up out of there. Once again, my heart goes out to everybody that was affected, all the families, lost their homes, lost their memorabilia, were decimated, had to move around. They don't know where they're going to get help from. And it's just, the images on television just look disastrous. And all because they did not do the necessary steps to stop this from being such a big, huge disaster. It's unacceptable, totally unacceptable. But these are my initial thoughts. We definitely gonna speak about it more. I just wanted to come and speak about it candidly. Initially you get some more results, see how everything pans out. Like, once again, thoughts and prayers goes out to everybody. Voices for the voiceless. We love y'all. It's your boy Jay Taylor. And next time, we should be going live hopefully tomorrow, Friday. But with that being said, you enjoy the rest of your evening. And until then, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We out.